Canada is starting to get very uncomfortable with the Khalistan movement being fanned from within its territory. In a recently concluded meeting with its foreign minister, MEA Dr. S. Jaishankar stressed that Canada should not be giving support to especially some terrorist elements who are wanted for murder in India. I'm going to give you some details. This is not the only thing. Justin Trudeau has a problem. 𝗥𝗲𝗳𝗲𝗀𝗀𝘀𝗀, the leader of the NDP. Now, I'm going to tell you all the things that are happening, but more importantly, the population of Canada, the liberal populace of Canada, are beginning to feel very uncomfortable and they are asking some really difficult questions. Let's take a quick look at this slide deck and I'll tell you all about it. Terry Milewski, a former Canadian Broadcasting Corporation executive, well known for his incisive journalism, in a recent interview wondered how many of the Canadian Sikhs will give up their 50k plus jobs to go to Khalistan. And he also wondered why will they want to give up this and relocate to Khalistan, assuming that something like that is formed somewhere in the region between India and Pakistan. Who knows? Lahore is the capital. We have no idea. Then he further goes on to ask, what about the people who are already living in this newly formed state of Khalistan? What will the Khalistanis do? Are they going to drive out the Muslims, the Hindus, and the Christians that might be in that area? Who's going to accept them? So basically what he is trying to say is this is something that is emotional and it is something that is needless. These people will not cross 14,000 miles to go and settle down in a place which they don't have any relationship, especially the children who are born in Canada and they've been told stories about how the movement is important and so on and so forth. He thinks that none of those kids will ever go back to Khalistan. So whose Khalistan is it anyway? That's the question he's asking. It's a very good question. Let's take a quick look at some of the other things that are happening. A small minority in Canada consider Parmar martyr. Who is this guy? His name is Talvinder Singh Parmar, and he was considered to be the main person to behind the bombing of Kanishka. I don't know if you remember what happened, and this happened, I think, in 1985. The 32 years may be incorrect. It's a little bit more than that. 1985. And there were two planes that had bombs on them. One went down over the Atlantic. The other one, actually, because the plane was delayed a little bit, the bomb went off on the tarmac in Tokyo. The idea was that there was going to be a flight from Canada to Tokyo, and from Tokyo there was going to be another Air India flight for Delhi. Luckily, that one escaped. The question here is, why is this vocal small minority making so much noise? More importantly, this person has been gunned down 25 years ago. He was in India for something else. We don't know exactly the reason. I mean, I'm not going to go into all that stuff. The argument they put is that he was never proved to have been the chief conspirator. The interesting thing here is that Canada had been given ample warnings from India that there was a bomb like this that was going to take place. And yet the Canadian authorities, Indians blame, did not pay enough attention to some of the people who were working in and around cargo. And essentially the threat was not taken seriously by Canada according to India. So now what is happening? You have this person called 𝗥𝗲𝗳𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀, who is the leader of the NDP, the New Democratic Party. And I think it is New Democratic Party. Don't kill me. It's NDP. Let's leave it at that way. And he was asked point blank by who? By Terry Milewski about a question on whether he condemns Parmar or not. And 𝗥𝗲𝗳𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 refused to answer that question. And there was a moderator in between and that person tried to kind of gloss over it. But the question that remains is 𝗥𝗲𝗳𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 a Khalistani sympathizer? And now the question then further becomes, 𝗥𝗲𝗳𝗀 does not hold a post in Trudeau government, but he is an important member. I'm sure there are other people from his party who are ministers in the Trudeau government. It's a coalition. So is this going to become a problem? Because if 𝗥𝗲𝗳𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 were to become a minister For example, in fact, if you remember, one of the defense ministers was refused to be recognized by India when I think he tried to make a trip to India, because that person also had some Khalistani links. You go through the last few ministers of Indian origin in Canada government, you will see a lot of such friction points coming up. Now, what is Justin Trudeau going to do? What if somebody from this small but vocal minority starts saying, well, we may not be able to get Khalistan in India, but we would like to establish Khalistan in Canada? What would Trudeau do? See, these are the kind of things that you get yourself into. Unfortunate for him, I shouldn't say unfortunate, he did it knowingly. He should have not supported the farmers' fight in Punjab. It had nothing to do with him. It had nothing to do with the farmers. It had nothing to do with Canada. Nothing to do with all the supporters. This was pure money, and it was for a few who wanted to try and control how agriculture is done in Punjab, and that was the reason why that had to be canned. Very unfortunate. A very good idea that would have bettered the lives of all farmers of India got dropped. Very unfortunate. What Prime Minister Modi ended up doing. Anyway, now what we have recently, Melanie Joly, with Canada's foreign minister, came visiting to India. And I think here the Riot Act, or at least a stern warning, has been given by India's Minister of External Affairs, Dr. Subramaniam Jaishankar, that this has to stop. What Canada is going to do is going to be watched very carefully. You know that a group of Khalistanis, I'm not saying Sikhs, Khalistanis attacked a Hindu temple in Melbourne, Australia. Likewise, we are hearing some skirmishes also in Canada. If it also happens in places where Khalistanis are in some numbers, in UK, for example, that would be cause for even more concern. Why is all this happening? Is it because the funding for all these people used to come from ISI, and the ISI itself is in trouble right now? So is it something like the candle burning fiercely before it goes out? Only time will tell. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.